fantastic win through to the second semi-final against Subiaco, but the win today will give you a lot of confidence going into that match.
Yeah, look, the boys were really good, and it's probably pleasing because you do so much work. They've worked, from November all the way through, and qualified really strongly and performed really strongly for a lot of them, which was their first final. To come out and start the way they did and pressure the opposition the way they did was a good start.
That first 10 minutes first 12 minutes was incredible, but to then be able to do that again after they came back, they steadied sort of either side of quarter time. They had a bit of the momentum, but to come back and steady before half-time and then dominate the third quarter, that was probably even more impressive than the way you started.
Yeah, look, we started really well, and obviously, being a final, they're always going to come back. So, look, it was a bit of an arm wrestle towards quarter time, and then, the first half of the second quarter, they really charged at us, but we steadied and sort of absorbed it, and then we're able to win the quarter still, and then you come out in the third quarter and really put our stamp on the game. It was very pleasing.
Your pressure and intensity all day was enormous, and they really struggled to just get any control of the game at all because of that. You must have been happy with the way they pressured.
Yeah, look, I think whenever you play well, your pressure's up, but I think it's a real barometer for how we're going in the game is how well we pressure. And look, I thought we had a really even contribution as well, which helps. We had most of the 22 at the end of the day, played their role and did their bit. So
you mentioned guys playing their first final. I think it was 16 of them playing the first final. And sometimes not having that finals experience makes you really hungry and ready to make the most of the chance when you get it, and that's what it looked like.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, finals are just a game of footy. Once it's probably the lead up to it when you get the nerves and that sort of stuff. But once the game starts, and virtually once you get to the ground and you're with your teammates, you start to feel comfortable again. So, and I know we've got no senior finals, but a lot of our guys have come through, a really successful Colts program where they've played finals. So really, the difference between a final, I guess, is the expectation that you've got to carry on, the result. So. Look, it was really pleasing. I thought we were pretty even, which was good.
You talk about barometers. Ashton Ham's another indication of how important he's going to be for the team. He kicked 3 goals today, 27 possessions, showed that he's put that calf injury behind him, which kicked him out for, I think, 6 weeks.
Yeah, and the leadership that he brings, the leadership and voice between, Ash and Schleith and Cook and we had a few of them out injured for a while, so there's other blokes that have sort of added to their leadership, Saunders and Shaw and Pullman down back and Wilson. So, look, I thought they led really well. Ash went forward, in the third quarter, was able to kick a couple of goals for us, which was important.
The forward line was exciting, and it's probably been one of your great strengths all year, just being able to kick goals from multiple options, and Shaw and Saunders and Johnson, I think 11 between those three, and they're outstanding.
Yeah, I thought they worked really well together, and we want to share the load. It's really hard if you rely on one or two. If they get shut down, then it can make for a long day. So, but our pressure was outstanding. I think Blaine Johnson was fantastic. Sorry, had 5 tackles, kicked 3 as well. So.
Not likely to be many changes to a team that wins by 52 points, but I noticed that Adam Guglielmana had 32 Ps in the reserves, just putting pressure on.
Yeah, so obviously Chris Luff was pretty unlucky to miss out. It was probably more of a matchup. We just didn't think they'd have 3 tools, and so he went out today. So he's obviously in the mix.
That's Brandon, good, though, to have that sort of pressure on.
No doubt. Brandon Donaldson was really unlucky to miss out too. He was really good last week playing half forward. And Googs got through, had 32. Stephen Edwards got through and played well, so could be a long night selection.
Your back line was outstanding as well, and Marlon Pickett was terrific, probably one of the best on the ground, and Josh Pullman, did his job again, and Blaine Wilson was terrific. Gundry and Mascos and Duffy especially was good. Your whole back line stood up too. Yeah,
look, I think probably the last 3 or 4 weeks they've defended really well. So, but Pullers has had a great year. Marlon's had a super year. He's been amazing. So, but they really worked well together, I thought. But it sounds like an old record, but generally you defend pretty well when the pressure up the ground's pretty good. It allows them, to dictate a little bit what they're doing. So, look, I thought our pressure was good, and we defended pretty well for the most part.
Sorry, Todd. Little injury concerns. Hockey looked to have a hip or a corky, and Hayden Schleut looked to turn his ankle again later in the game. Are you confident they'll come
They're all fine, they're just knocks. Hock's just got a knock to his hip, so he'll be fine. He could have stayed on, but with where the scoreboard was at, we just chose to take him off and start preparing for next week. So they're all just got knocks, so like any game, they'll be fine. 8-day break, I think, so we should be good.
This performance couldn't have been any more impressive. How much momentum do you hope it gives you now to go into Subi next week?
Oh, I think confidence is up, but similar to, I guess, you work so hard to qualify and then really everyone's back to zero. So, we had a great year in terms of winning 15 games, and that action, I guess you get confidence from that. But, to be able to do it and reproduce it today, in a real pressure final is obviously pleasing. So, look, we haven't been the best team all year, but our absolute aim is to be the best team in September. So we can only control today. We're pretty good, and we get another chance to test ourselves against, what's been the best team for the last few years next week.
So effectively, you reset again for next week, start again.
Yeah, look, start again. No one gets 4 points today, and there's no percentage. It's just an opportunity. So I think if you gave any coach or player group or supporter group the option that, 1st of November, guarantee you're going to play in a second semi-final, I think you'd take it pretty quick. It's exciting.
Subi's still the one team you haven't beaten in your 2 years here. I probably ask you this every time you come up against playing them. What do you need to do differently to change that this time?
Oh, look, we just got to play our way and, and be bold. Look, we started really poorly last time. I think no Hams, no Schloith, no Johnson. And that's not to say personnel's going to make a difference. But, look, I think we're healthy. We played pretty well today, so we're in. If you talk about preparation, we'll train during the week. But we should be prepared as well as we can be, and then we just got to let the players go out and do their thing.
So you'd encourage the boys to take it on. Obviously, Subiaco won the last 2 flags, but doesn't count for anything in this finals campaign.
Well, the flags they've got, they can celebrate, but they can't celebrate. It's what's ahead. Yep. History doesn't matter for this. It's what happens next week. So, we'll have a crack, and if we're good enough, we are.